welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. Dan and I have just got back from a lovely weekend in Copenhagen, and I did vlog a few bits and bobs here and there, but looking back through my footage, it's all a little bit mixed match, so I thought I would sit down and run you through the trip properly, just in case you are watching this video because you yourself want to plan a trip to Copenhagen. So let's get into it. We flew from London Stansted to Copenhagen direct. It's a 90-minute flight, so easy, and I think we got the tickets in the end for, I think it was around £100. That was with hand luggage only, so no bags in the hold. For a 3-night trip, that's fine if you pack light. Once we got to Copenhagen airport, we took the subway metro straight from the airport all the way to Osterport, which was where our hotel was. Quick note on the subway system, metro system, the whole system is a lot sort of smaller and simpler than it is here in London, and it did just make me think, like, gosh, the tourists coming to London, they must be thinking like, what the, when they get down onto the London Underground. But yes, anyway, it was really nice and straightforward, the transport over there. Pretty much the same price as the tube here in London. I also absolutely loved that there was no annoying gates everywhere. It had the like official sort of tube app on our phone. You swipe in, you swipe out on the app, and that's your way of like getting on and off the train. Super easy, no faffing around at the gates, you can carry all your bags. We stayed in the Go Hotel in Osterport, which was a super affordable, sort of budget-friendly hotel, but it had really good reviews, and it's just exactly what you need for a city break. A base camp, clean, tidy, had everything we need. I think it was around £80 to £90 a night. Pretty good going for a 3-night trip. After a bit of a refresh, we headed out straight into town. We walked and ended up at Gasoline Grill. This was a place we saw on Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix. We've seen it on Top Drawer on YouTube. It's basically like a takeaway burger place, but they have just like a really good ethos. Heard so many good things about them. Dan and I are both vegetarians, so it's a good test of their veggie burger, which was delicious. I think it was around £35 for 2 burgers, 2 portions of fries, and 2 homemade elderflower lemonades, which were delicious. Perfect meal after a long day traveling. After that, we went not too far away to a local sort of neighborhood wine bar. It's called Kismet, and it was really cool actually, really big and spacious in there. Everyone's very trendy and cool as you'd expect, and really simple, lovely menu of house wines, white, red, rosé, orange wine, loads of sort of like snacky bits and bobs. It was quite funny, they actually kind of forgot about us for a second. We ordered our drinks and they never came, even though we were sat like directly in front of the bar, but they made up for it and gave us free olives, and they also gave us some free kombucha, which I thought was quite funny. Just chilled there for a couple of hours and then walked all the way back to our hotel. But I loved walking all the little back roads. The buildings are so beautiful and there's just such a sort of calm atmosphere. I'm sure you know already, everybody in Copenhagen cycles, so there's barely any cars. It feels quite quiet. Every single house has got like 5 bikes outside of it. Just had a delicious first breakfast here in Copenhagen. We went to a place called Atelier September, which has kind of been on my radar for a long time, and clearly everyone else's radar because we were in the queue for about half an hour, but it was worth it. It was so delicious. Had a very typical morning plate, which was sourdough with egg and jam and cheese, and yeah, it was really, really delicious. Saturday consisted of a lot of walking. I think we did around 25,000 steps in the end. The weather was sunny, blue skies, but definitely chilly. I had my trench coat on and I probably could have done with another layer underneath. It was quite windy and chilly, but definitely fine when you're walking around. We had a walk through the lovely parks. We went further into the city, looked in all the gorgeous shops. Particular favourite of mine was the Hay House. Couldn't really buy too much because obviously we only had our tiny suitcase, so that was very much in my mind that we can't go crazy. And then we did get a veggie hot dog from a sort of street vendor, which again had a big queue. It was delicious. Perfect little bite when you're out and about shopping. We then had a little cycle ourselves. We cycled a good half an hour, 40 minutes away to this stunning church that Dan had actually been to before but wanted to show me. And it was so nice to cycle through the city, over the bridges. Cycling is such a big thing in Copenhagen that there's designated cycle lanes, so even on these big crossroads where you're like, oh god, I could never, it's actually quite straightforward, especially when I was following Dan. Obviously I was cycling behind him. But later that evening we went for dinner at a place called Cleo, restaurant Cleo. There is so many restaurants, bars, cafes, bakeries. I was a little bit overwhelmed planning for this trip and trying to decide where we're going to eat. The vibes in restaurant Cleo were immaculate. It was very cool, very lovely. I would say it was our most expensive dinner by far, which we weren't actually expecting. It was definitely very cool in there, and the staff was so friendly, and the music was great, and the food was definitely fine. I wouldn't say it was worthy of like that high of a price point, but yeah, we had a lovely time regardless, but it was a bit of a shock when we saw the bill.
Beautiful blue sky day here in Copenhagen, heading out for a coffee somewhere, and then we're going to explore another part of the city and then end up at Tivoli Gardens, which is like a little bit of a amusement park. It looks very beautiful, so we're going to check that out. And we've got a lunch reservation at a place called Palazzo Diner, and yeah, that's what's going on.
Sunday morning started with a coffee at another coffee shop that I wanted to try for a long time called Dallas Coffee. It was very busy in there and very tiny, literally 4 or 5 tables. We sat on a bench by the water and it was so nice to just sort of people watch, lots of runners, lots of cyclists. Everyone's out for coffee, everyone's out for a walk, and the sun was shining, beautiful blue sky. And we walked so many thousands of steps that day. We went to a beautiful botanical garden. We sat on the grass by the river. We sat on the grass by a lake. We ended up at a place called Palazzo Diner, and I had the most delicious spinach carbonara, which was honestly so good. More cafes. We went to a place called Orsa Coffee. We had a list of about 20 coffee shops that we wanted to try, but obviously there's only so much you can fit into 2.5 days. We had a really nice matcha in there. We then went to a place called Tivoli Gardens, quite a famous sort of attraction in Copenhagen. I think in any other city we wouldn't really think to go to an amusement park, not necessarily our kind of thing. We heard from friends that you have to go, and I'm so glad we did because it was so beautiful in there. There were so many families with kids and you could just tell the kids were just in awe of all the lights and the flowers and the water and the music, and it was really, really nice. Very well manicured, gorgeous gardens, which yeah, were really, really nice to see. And I think I'm right in saying it was the inspiration for the original Disneyland, which is pretty cool. We left there, walked 10 or 15 minutes away to a bar called Kissa. This was a really good find. All the cocktails were on tap, and they worked out to be about £5 per cocktail, which is unheard of in a city. Stayed there for a couple of drinks and it was really nice. I would definitely recommend going there. Loads of outdoor seating, loads loads of indoor seating. I think if we were to go to Copenhagen again, we would explore the meatpacking district a little bit more. They had some really cool looking restaurants in that area, and yeah, felt just a bit different to the rest of the city over there.
It's our last day in Copenhagen, which is so sad, but we've had the best few days exploring. We are absolutely knackered. Over the last 2 days, I think we've done like 50,000 steps. We spent the morning exploring, went to the Round Tower, had a look around some more parks, and as our final activity, we are going to the Design Museum, and then we'll be going back to the hotel to get our stuff and heading back to the airport.
We went to Hart Bakery and we sat outside right on the water, which was so nice. We had a really nice toasted croissant with gochujang and cheese in it, and it was so good. So we definitely got a lot of good foodie inspo in our time in Copenhagen. There's so many more places we wish we could have tried, but yes, there's always next time. We really wanted to go to the Design Museum, but unfortunately when we got there we realised they're closed on Mondays, which was so annoying because we both really wanted to go there. C'est la vie, these things happen, but yes, just a little note if you're planning a trip is that quite a lot of places are closed on Monday, including the famous Design Museum. So that is such a shame, but yeah, next time. Before you know it, it was time to fly home. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely didn't get as much footage as I was hoping to, but I always like to be a bit more in the moment on these trips because we don't get to go away that often. I would definitely go back to Copenhagen. There's so much more to see and do. Let me know if you have any questions about our trip in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.